In order to understand how forces let us do cool stuff like this, we need to start with an interaction diagram. The system being me as an object and the environment that affects me, the earth and the ground. The earth exerts a force of gravity G and the ground exerts a normal N and applied force A. Now we can construct the force diagram, showing forces that are acting on the object under the assumption that the object is a point mass. We will assume that forces pointing up and right are positive. The earth pulls me down with the force of gravity, but it's important to note that I am also pulling the earth up. We can explain this through Newton's third law of motion. When two objects interact, it results in a pair of forces, one on each object, that are equal and opposite. So, I feel a force pulling down, and the earth feels an equivalent force pulling up. Next, the ground pushes me with normal and applied force. The normal force pushes me up because my weight is pushing down, and the applied force is on an angle pushing up, as that is the opposite direction of my leg pushing down on the ground. To make things easier for ourselves, we can split this force into its components in the x and y dimension. Since I end up traveling up and to the right, my acceleration is also up and to the right, shown by this squiggly line. According to Newton's first law of motion, an object's velocity will remain unchanged unless acted upon by an external unbalanced force. So the reason my velocity changes is because I create an unbalanced force. In the x dimension, there is only a force to the right, so I accelerate in that direction. In the y dimension, the applied and normal force have to be greater than the force of gravity for me to move up. It also means if I increase my applied force in both dimensions, the force pushing me up and to the right will increase, letting me move higher and further to the right. This is in accordance with Newton's second law of motion. The total unbalanced force is equal to mass times acceleration. After I push up from the ground, I begin to free fall, meaning that the only force acting on me is gravity. This means that the initial force the ground pushes me up and to the right needs to be enough for me to do the full rotation before gravity pulls me back to the ground. And that is how forces let us do cool stuff like that.